Okay, good evening, everyone. It's our planning public meeting for zoning bylaw amendment 36 of 2025 for 3096 Lakeshore Road. It's Monday, June the 30th, 2025. This meeting will be streamed live and recorded for public viewing on the town's YouTube page. Council, I would remind you, if you have a pecuniary interest, to please declare it at the appropriate time. The purpose of this meeting is the proposed zoning bylaw amendment has been initiated by the town to amend the town of Plympton-Wyoming comprehensive zoning bylaw number 97, 2003, by changing the zoning on a portion of lands owned by JN Ventures Limited, municipally known as 3096 Lakeshore Road. Portions of the lands were rezoned previously by bylaw 22 of 2024 from the agricultural 2 bracket A2 zoning to residential -1 holding bracket R1 bracket H zoning in support of a proposed plan of subdivision. The zoning bylaw amendment now being proposed would make the same zoning change to a stormwater management block in the subdivision to be block 216 that was omitted from the previous rezoning. This time it's my pleasure to introduce the members of the staff and council that are joined with us. We have Deputy Mayor Nettie McEwen, Councillor John Van Clavern, Councillor Bob Wolvett, Councillor Kristen Rodriguez, Councillor Mike Vasey, and Councillor Alex Hogan. Our staff is Mr. Adam Sabansky, our CAO, Deputy Clerk Diane Gould Brown, our planning technician, Mr. Mackenzie Baird. And joining us from the county, we have Maria Casarasi, our senior planner, Weaning as well. So, Mr. Baird, just to confirm, has the official notice been emailed to the required agencies posted on the site and mailed to neighboring property owners within 120 meters of the subject lands on June the 9th, 2025?
I can't confirm notice has gone out, Your Worship.
Okay, thank you. I'm not calling Mr. Nyweenie, our senior planning official, for the zoning bylaw amendment and for his report, please. Mr. Nyweenie?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. There's not much to report about this one other than what you already mentioned in your introduction. At the risk of duplication, I'll just say again, in 2024, this property received draft plan approval for a plan of subdivision on the whole of the property. 2 of the blocks, 224 and 225, I believe, yes, are future development blocks, which were meant to remain in the previous zoning A2, which was done correctly. However, there was a stormwater management block 216, which also was inadvertently missed from the rezoning and remains in the A2 zone. And it was intended to go into the residential zone, the same as the balance of the plan of subdivision. So this is, it was inadvertently missed. Nobody picked up on it in the mapping. So this application is initiated by the town and the county to correct that and do what was intended with the original application.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Zanti, you're here with us tonight as a representative of JN Ventures Limited. Is there anything for you to add at this time?
Yes, excuse me, just very quickly, Mr. Nyweenie had commented block 225 was not rezoned, and I just wanted to point out and clarify 225 is in the R1 holding zone currently and was designed and meant to be. It's only block 224, which is what's shown on your map there as A2, is what's staying A2. Just minor point of clarification.
Mr. Baird, has there been any correspondence received on this application?
Your Worship, we've received no correspondence on the application.
Okay. Also, I now move to that part of the agenda where there's any questions from you. Beginning on, I'll just open it up. Is there anybody got any questions? Seeing none. We have no members of the public present, so there'll be no presentations there. Any further questions from the council? Seeing none. I have a motion. Oh, sorry. Sorry, I have to go back here. There was a motion to receive Mr. Nyweeney's report, and I did neglect to do that. Moved by Councillor Bojan, seconded by Councillor Vacy, that report by Will Nyweeney, senior planning official, dated June 23rd, 2025, regarding zoning bylaw amendment application 36/2025 be received. All those in favor? Sorry about that, Council. So now I move to a motion by Councillor Vacy, seconded by Councillor Bojan. The council approves zoning bylaw amendment 36/2025, and that bylaw 36/2025 being a bylaw to rezone portion of the subject lands from the agricultural A2 zone to the residential 1 H R1 H zone be taken as having been read 3 times, passed, and the mayor and clerk be authorized to sign the said bylaw accordingly. All those in favor? That is carried. The applicant, the registered owner of the land, the minister, and a specified person or public body who made a verbal presentations at a public meeting or provided written correspondence before a decision was made regarding the bylaw may appeal the council's decision of the zoning bylaw amendment to the Ontario Land Tribunal within 20 days from the date the notice of the decision the bylaw is given. Moved by Councillor Bojan, seconded by Councillor Vacy, that this public meeting be adjourned. All those in favor? Great. For those that are joining with us virtually, thank you very much. We have a 25-minute recess until our third public meeting taking place at 6:30 sharp. Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome to our second public meeting. This is zoning bylaw amendment 55 of 2025, 4356 Churchill line. It's Monday, June 30th, 2025. Meeting will be streamed live and recorded for public viewing on the town's YouTube page. I would remind council, if you have a pecuniary interest, to please declare it at the appropriate time. The proposed zoning bylaw amendment has been submitted by Wyoming Feed and Supply Limited on behalf of the owner 1000375-130 Ontario Limited to amend the town of Plympton, Wyoming's comprehensive zoning bylaw 97 of 2023 by changing the zoning proportion of the retained lands from the agricultural -2 A bracket 2 to the site-specific no dwelling agricultural 1 bracketed ND/A bracket 1 zoning but to accommodate a future severance of a surplus farm dwelling. The site-specific no dwelling agricultural 1 ND-A bracket 1 zoning provisions would be to accommodate an undersized retained farm parcel of 92.09 acres. Additionally, the proposed severed lot of 2 acres would be changed from the agricultural 2 A bracket 2 zoning to site-specific agricultural 2 bracket 1 bracket A2 bracket 1 zoning to accommodate an existing accessory structure with a maximum height of 6.71 meters or 22 feet and a maximum gross floor area of 325.16 square meters or 3,500 square feet. The woodlot, bracket WD zoning on the retained land will remain unchanged. The subject property, municipally known as 4356 Churchill Line, in the town of Plympton, Wyoming, is undergoing the process of severing a surplus farm dwelling. As part of the surplus farm dwelling process outlined in Part 2, Section 2, subsection 12E, the town of Plympton, Wyoming's official plan, the zoning of the retained parcel of the farmland must prohibit it in perpetuity to any new residential uses to ensure the retained farmland continues to be used for agricultural purposes. The change to the no dwelling agricultural 1 bracket ND-A bracket 1 zoning meets this requirement. Once again, it's my pleasure to introduce the council and staff that have joined with us this evening. First of all, we have Deputy Mayor Nettie McEwen, Councillor John Van Claveren, Councillor Bob Wolvett, Councillor Kristen Rodriguez, Councillor Mike Basie, Councillor Alex Bojan. Staff, we have our CAO, Mr. Adam Sabansky, Diane Gould Brown, and our Deputy Clerk, Mr. Mackenzie Baird, our Planning Technician, Maria Casarasi, our Senior Planner, and as well joining us this evening, we have Will Nywening, Senior Planning Official from Lambton County. Mr. Baird, can you confirm that the official notice was emailed to the required agencies posted on the site and mailed to the neighboring property owners within 120 meters of the subject lands on June the 9th, 2025?
Your worship, I can't. Just want to know.
All right, thank you, Mr. Baird. This time I'd like to call on Mr. Nywening, our Senior Planning Official, for his report, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. 4356 Churchill Line is a 94-acre, roughly, farm parcel on the north side of Churchill Line, just west of Wyoming. The proposal for this property is to sever off an existing house and outbuilding from the farm as a surplus farm dwelling lot. Under your official plan policies, it requires that you first deal with the zoning application first to deal with the requirement under the province for surplus farm dwelling severance that a farmhouse be prohibited on the retained farm. So essentially, council is being required to assess the validity of the surplus farm dwelling severance as part of this zoning application. Our recommendation is to approve. And before I forget, there are some comments that were received from Lambton County with respect to this application that should be dealt with through the Committee of Adjustment. So should this application be approved for zoning, then an application will go forward to the Committee of Adjustment for consent. Some conditions of consent that should be included in the committee decision are that a septic assessment be completed to the satisfaction of the County of Lambton Development Services Department, that if the existing septic system is not in compliance with the Ontario Building Code 2024 Part 8, a septic system permit be obtained and a new septic system be installed, which includes all required inspections, that the septic system location be included on the survey, plotted on a copy by the owner, and a copy provided to the County Development Services Department for the property files, that the applicant obtain a change of use permit for the existing agricultural storage building to a residential storage building. So those are comments from the County Building Services Department, things that should be dealt with at the Committee of Adjustment in the future. So the proposed lot is 2 acres in size and contains an existing house, which staff is satisfied based on the information presented that it is indeed a surplus farm dwelling severance, which is permitted to be severed by provincial policy and your official plan. It also contains a existing building measuring 40 feet by 85 feet roughly, and approximately 22 feet in height. So as noted, we are satisfied that it is a surplus farm dwelling severance. There are a number of criteria that have to be satisfied. In addition to it being surplus as a farm dwelling, we are satisfied that all those conditions have been met, and I don't think there's a need to go into a lot of detail on all of them. The one item that I would go into is the minimum distance separation formula. There are a number of livestock buildings in the immediate area. Some of them it's questionable about whether they would still be considered livestock barns based on their condition. But they're located far enough away that we are satisfied that even if they are considered livestock barns, the distance would be met. The one immediately to the east was originally constructed as a swine operation. And in discussion with the owner there, he confirmed that it has been altered so that it's now the best it could be used for would be 3 horses, was his indication. So that's an MDS distance of 81 meters. And we've done some careful measuring and we're satisfied that the actual separation is at least 90. So it just meets. So there are no MDS issues with this application. So there are a couple of zoning deficiencies associated with the application. One is the retained farm lot size. The minimum required in the zoning is 38 hectares. After the removal of the residential lot, it will be reduced from just over 38 hectares to just over 37 hectares. So in looking at that, I've looked at it as if it were being applied for as a minor variance and the tests of a minor variance. And in my opinion, that is a very minor reduction in the requirement. And the farm property is still of a size that it's going to be farmed. There's no danger of it going out of farm production for some other use. It's still a viable parcel in that respect. It's not like we're creating a new farm parcel. It's an existing farm parcel that is being slightly reduced by removal of the house and hardly any loss of actual farmed land. So in my opinion, that satisfies the intent of the official plan and the zoning bylaw, and is appropriate as a minor variance and appropriate as a site-specific amendment to a site-specific provision to the zoning bylaw. I'll explain that in the draft zoning amendment. The second item is the detached building. So the 40-foot by 85-foot approximate building, 22 feet high, that is greater than the 6 meter. Is it 6 meter? Sorry, that's greater than the permitted size and height of an accessory building on a residential lot. So because this building is now going from being on a farm parcel onto a residential lot, it now has to meet the size restrictions for accessory buildings on a residential lot. It does not. So it is a fairly large building, larger than what you would normally need for typical residential use, larger than what you would normally allow if someone were just seeking a new building permit. But being an existing building, it's not so far out of size that it's unreasonable. It would be a useful building for a future residential tenant on that property, or owner on that property. And so in that respect, it's appropriate in my opinion. And again, looking at those site specific exceptions that are needed to allow that accessory building on the residential lot, if it were a minor variance, again, in my opinion, it would meet those tests and is appropriate. So the draft amending bylaw, it would do a number of things. The property is currently zoned A2. It's part of that A2 zone that surrounds Wyoming. So it would be changed to an NDA exception 1 zone, so no dwelling agriculture exception 1. And the provisions for that zone would be the same as the existing A2 zone, except for that a dwelling would be a prohibited use. So that would meet the requirement under the provincial planning statement that no house be permitted on the retained farm. And that zone would also permit the 37, it would permit a minimum lot size of 37 hectares for the farm, which is just a hair below the actual size of 37.26 acres, 92 acres, or sorry, 37.26 hectares, 92 acres. So that special zone would address the provincial planning statement requirement, as well as the that zoning deficiency for the retained farm lot size. The severed residential lot, the 2 acres, would go into a site-specific A2 zone, so A2 exception 1. And the exceptions to that zone would be for the detached accessory building size limits, allowing 325 meters squared, which allows a hair more than the 3,500 square feet for that existing building, and also 6.8 meters, which is a little bit more than the 6.71 meters of the actual building. So both of those figures provide a little bit of room for here. And the portions of the farm that are currently zoned woodlot would remain zoned. So that would be the effect of the zoning bylaw as drafted. And again, at the beginning of my report, I indicated some conditions of consent that the council should recommend to the committee when it gets to that stage before the committee of adjustment. So we are in support of the application as presented, and have no objections to the bylaw being passed as presented.
All right, thank you, Mr. Nyweeding, for that comprehensive report. So I have a motion by Councillor Van Claveren, seconded by Councillor Wolvett, that the report by Will Nyweeding, Senior Planning Official, dated June the 23rd, 2025, regarding zoning bylaw amendment application 5525 be received. Just to receive his report. All those in favor? That is carried. Okay, any overview or anything to add by the applicant or the agent? Mr. Zanding, I believe you.
Yes, my name is Brad Zanting, as you know, president of Wyoming Feed and Supply. I'm here with Zach Jackson, my client. I think we fully agree with Will's report. We're here to answer any questions if there is any.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Baird, any correspondence that we've received on this application?
Your worship, we received no correspondence on this.
All right, thank you. Okay, council, any questions from the council members? Dr. Rodriguez.
One, in your staff report, you were, stating the county recommendations in a committee of adjustment. Is that something new that we'll see going forward? Is that?
No, I was, sorry, through you, Mr. Mayor. So I was observing in your, previous staff reports that there was, it included recommendations of that nature. So I felt, given this situation, that it's a zoning as a precursor to the consent application, the best way to accommodate those recommendations rather than a direct recommendation would be that the committee of adjustment be instructed that these should be conditions of consent. I thought that would be the most appropriate way to deal with that.
I guess I'm just trying to understand, is that predetermining your committee of adjustment, basically? I don't know. I'm just having a hard time understanding.
Well, obviously, you're gonna zone it appropriately, so the committee of adjustment will have a big decision to make.
Okay.
Right.
It speeds up the process, basically.
Yeah, really, it does. I don't know, which is supposed to come first,
Chicken or the egg?
really?
Municipalities do it both ways. Some do the zoning first with council, some do the severance first with the committee of adjustment. Council at the time of the official plan amendment chose to go council first. So
Discuss Rossi.
For your worship, I'd just like to add that when an application for consent is submitted and it's circulated, the comments and recommendations or conditions would be the same as they would have been noted at this. So the county has undertaken, and this particular case, because the decision is split council and the consent application is going to committee, staff have chosen to review and analyze the any requirements or limitations. They've decided to outline those in the zoning application and report to council so that everything is transparent.
Yeah.
Considered.
Is there any questions from council? Okay, is there any presentation from members of the public? Believe we've got anybody lined up for that, have we, Mr. Barron?
My knowledge, your worship.
Okay, any further questions from council or members of the public? Mr. Jackson, anything from you? Okay. All right, so let's go to item number 12. I have a motion by Councilor Wilvet, seconded by Councilor Van Claveren, that zoning bylaw amendment application 55 of 2025 be approved. That bylaw 55 of 2025 being a bylaw to rezone portions of the subject property from the agricultural 2 bracket A2 zone to new agricultural 2 bracket 1 bracket A2 1 zone and to a new no dwelling agricultural 1 NDA bracket 1 zone be taken as having been read 3 times and passed, and that the mayor and the clerk be authorized to sign the said bylaw accordingly, and that the following be recommended to the Committee of Adjustment for inclusion as conditions of any future approval of consent to sever a surplus farm dwelling. Number 1, that a septic assessment be completed to the satisfaction of the County of Plympton Development Service Department. Number 2, that if the existing septic system is not in compliance with the Ontario Building Code 2024, Part 8, a septic system permit be obtained and a new septic system be installed, which includes all required inspections. Number 3, that the septic system location be included on the survey, plotted on a copy by the owner and a copy provided to the County Development Service Department for the property files. And number 4, that the applicant obtain a change of use permit for the existing agricultural storage building to a residential storage building. Council, you've heard that motion. All those in favor? Is carried. I do have to explain to you the appeal process. The applicant, the registered owner of the land, the minister, and a specified person, or public body, made a verbal presentations at a public meeting and provided written correspondence before a decision was made regarding the bylaw. May appeal council's decision of a zoning bylaw amendment to the Ontario Land Tribunal within 21 days of the date the notice of the decision of the bylaw is given. I have a motion by Councillor Van Claveren, seconded by Councillor Wolvett, that the public meeting be adjourned. All those in favor? Well, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you, council. Thank you, staff, for your preparation for tonight's meeting. Have a happy Canada Day, everybody, and drive home safely.